Oh, Tom? I don't have any.
Tom, you go. That sounds good. Wonder what your top takeaways were from the scrimmage and what you want to do better this week.
Consistency. I think, some things. Number one, I thought we tackled well defensively. Of course, that was probably number 5 that we've had at some portion of the practice where we tackled to the ground. They would have 12 reps maybe at practice, 18, probably averaged around 50, 52 apiece Saturday. But I thought we punted the ball well. We did have a block on the twos, but Devin Bell's continuing to punt the ball really well. I think we have some dynamic returners. I think Shanks is a really good return guy. Defensively, I thought that we flew around the ball well. I thought, again, like I said, I think we tackled well. Offensively, I thought KJ played really well. Madden played well at quarterback. And Rodney Hill had a really good game. Broke through. I say we tackled well, but he did break a couple of tackles. Had over 100 yards. We were pretty competitive, which I like. As a head coach, you don't root one way or the other. You'd like to see some really good things on both sides of the ball, and that's what I felt like we did. We are a physical team. I think. We finally got Corey Robertson back. He had been hurt a little bit. He played and got him back, so that was good to see there. But other than that, our bigs on the D-line, we either had some weddings, had one leave, had a wedding to attend, and then we've had some injuries there, so we're not getting to see everybody that we like to on the D-line. We've got good linebackers. Our O-line's playing better. And I think we're starting to develop some wide receivers that we believe in as well. So I was pleased with it. Not a lot of penalties, maybe 4 total for that 104-play scrimmage. We did not play any of the threes. We just didn't have enough, in all honesty, D linemen to get to that. So we're going to scrimmage them a little bit today at the end of practice.
For the red-white game, I wonder if you settled on a format, and then people really don't want to show a lot on TV. Are y'all going to keep it very basic, both sides of the ball, or what?
I think we won't show obviously everything that we've practiced this spring, but I think if you can remember back to last year when we had a red and a white team, and we played basically our starters, twos, the first half. And then the second half, we got everybody on the team in there. So we're going to have a game full of special teams and all that. And I know the one year that I just had a scrimmage, and I felt like last year was exciting. We scored a lot of points, and then the 2 offense didn't score a lot of points on the 1 defense. So, we've gone 14. Well, at this point, we've gone 12 practices, good on good, and we will continue to do that today and then Thursday. But then the spring game, I'd like to separate the teams just like we did before, Tom, and play 1 versus 2 and see who can develop in that format.
Sam, is there any thought to maybe signing a kicker from the portal?
No, not at all. We're pleased with our kickers that we have. We didn't have the greatest day Saturday there, but we hit the ball well. So as long, kickers, to me, you get nervous about kickers when the ball is going so fast. They're mis-hitting it. But that's a valid question. But no, I really like who we have.
Do you have an idea on numbers out, and not necessarily about position? You've talked about the positions you're looking at in this portal,
right.
But do you have an idea on numbers, maybe?
No.
How many players you would sign?
Well, I think right off the top of my head, you'd say there's two factors. One is how much money do you have to sign however many guys. That's always a factor. I think most of our, because of depth and things, we'd like to sign some guys on defense. So that number probably would be 5 if the money stretches. Now, you know, and I know that there will be some portal guys that go into the portal, not only that are in there that we're trying to get, but there'll be some guys going to the portal, and then that number will change. But if we kept the entire roster, I'd say about 5.
Do you feel like Madden has made about as much improvement from the first practice to Saturday when he was out there?
Yeah, isn't that something? I mean, he's done really well, especially coming off his, you know, he didn't play his senior year, very mature, well coached out of high school. And but yeah, I think he's made a ton of improvement, and I think you'll see that throughout the rest of the spring and then, you know, the summer and fall camp.
What's the portal look like for you as a head coach? Like, you got somebody in there refreshing it tomorrow and giving you updates, or what do you want to know? When, I mean, obviously you're not going to be hitting the refresh button.
Well, we have somebody in there when they go in, and then we're hearing somebody's going to go in, you know, or you see on whatever it be, X or Instagram or whatever, or you hear from a coach, or more importantly, probably an agent, you know, and they'll call and say, so we look at them. Like today, I looked at 8, and to see where we're ranking them, and obviously Remy will do the same thing, but where we're ranking them in needs and then affordability, you know, because part of obviously your ranking scale would have to be where you're at financially, because as we talked about, we're going to need about 5. We're figuring about 5, and then how far does the cost stretch? And but we do that all the time. And again, I just went over some more guys and ranked them, re-ranked who we had on the board. But like offensive linemen, I'm not looking at offensive linemen because I think we're fine there. And quarterbacks, you know, I'm not looking at quarterbacks. So it can change, Trey, as you well know, if somebody comes in and decides to go into portal. But as of right now, that's where we're at. And it's just a process through Hub, me, the position coach, and then Remy.
Obviously, some guys probably on your team are going to make some decisions probably too. Is there any concern with guys in your first, second team, guys that you're really looking at to contribute that might hit the portal?
No. No, but, you know, you really don't know what goes on behind the scenes. In other words, you don't know if somebody's been in obviously they can't go to another SEC school, but as we're finding out more and more, each college, each league is getting more and more money, depending on, right now you can still do it the donor way, you know, with the collective until, you know, the ruling changes. No, but I don't know exactly what's going on behind closed doors. But I you know, we talk as a staff about it all the time, and you know, I mean, there's a couple of guys, but the ones we're hearing about are not, you know, high on the depth chart. You know, disgruntled maybe because of where they're at on the depth chart.
You mentioned you liked your linebackers. What have been your impressions of Brad Shaw as the springs progress?
If we end up playing a lot of 3 down front, I think Brad, you know, you decide, is your 4th D lineman physical? Is he more valuable than having Brad Shaw on the field? And so we've looked at that. We looked at it Saturday in the scrimmage as well. So Brad Shaw is a really good player that can run. So he'll play a ton of football for us. How much will depend really on where we feel about, are we going to be in that odd front with a big standing on the outside, or are we going to be in that odd front with Brad Shaw playing that edge?
And then, of course, holding out for good weather this weekend, but there's a chance things could get altered. Is there a plan right now for if there is rain?
Yeah, if it's rain, we're going to try to, as long as fans are going to come in here, we're going to try to play the game. And, I think, to me, that's what the spring game's all about is letting folks that can't come to practice or, the public see the team. So if we can do that, we certainly will. Now, if it's a downpour or lightning or something like that, then what we would do is we'd have a lengthy autograph session, meet the team. What I won't do, which I did maybe 3 years ago when it was bad weather, we went in the indoor and practiced. We invited the parents in there. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to try to do all we can to have the game, and we will, unless weather is just so bad that we can't. The people that we're having the game for aren't here, and if that's the case, then we won't do it. But we'll certainly have that autograph session and meet the team and all that. We will not go in indoor and practice if we can't practice out here in the stadium.
On that note, would you have a 15th practice like another day, or would that just wash it out and be done at that point?
Probably not. In the old days, a lot of times guys would save a practice after the spring game. And to be honest with you, it never was any good. I mean, and this was before the portal. And so I think, my thoughts is I'd like to keep my staff in, so we could. We're not going to, but that's a good question. We've done so much physical stuff this spring and tackled, several different days, and I think we've gotten out of spring what we know our team. I'm going to keep our staff in for the week afterwards. Basically, our staff's going to be in until the portal closes. And then they'll have 4 weeks to go out and recruit after that. And it's different. Some coaches will have 11 days out. Some will have 13. I think the most is Eric and Deke, and they have 16. So we'll be able to cover that, counting Saturday scrimmages and things like that. We'll be able to cover that. But to me, it was really important that we stay in, close up with our team, and visit with our team and get through the portal. The other thing is you're having guys come in and you're sending somebody out and you don't know who's in the portal, and this position comes back and then you've got to fly him back. Very costly as well. So that's exactly what we're going to do. But because of the portal, we won't have that even if this game somehow with lightning or whatever is not played.